but I did want it to look, wanted to have character. Let's put it that way, the paint. So what I think I'm going to do, I thought about doing, is just from handling this. Welcome back to the Workbench, where we try to make things. What we're continuing to try to make today is Revell's 1971 Olds 442, or what we're calling the Faux 42, because it's like a Cutlass that we're trying to make look like a 442. And what I worked on over the weekend, more detail under the hood, which we'll take a look at, but I also started working on the suspension in the rear. So getting the rear drive shaft, rear end in, which you can see I've got all that in. But the main thing that I kind of worked on, or I guess something that's a little different, I took the stock shocks, and let me make sure you guys can see them. Yeah, I think you can see them there. Move these out of the way. I took the stock shocks that came with this because we wanted to run like those air ride shocks, the ones that you could, hook your air compressor up to and lift up the back end of your car. And I was looking at those, or at least the research department brought me some photos of those. And in thinking back, because I had a set when I was a kid, they're beefier because obviously they have a bladder in there, so they're a beefier shock. So what I did is I took the stock shocks, the shocks that came with the kit, took some thin styrene, the thinnest styrene I had, cut strips, and then wrapped them around the body of the shock, which you can kind of see here, hopefully, and just made them thicker, just made them a heavier bodied shock. And then I just drilled a little hole in it with my little pin vise, and now I have the wire, or what I'm using wire, but what should look like air hose, that's going to run to the back of the car. Can you guys see that there? Got the hose is basically it's thin wire. In fact, it's I think it's fuel line I'm using, or fuel line for models. I stuck it in the little hole I drilled, and then running it down the frame rails, and it's going to come to the back here where the license plate is. And I'm going to run the little air fitting back there because that's where I had it when I was a kid. These cars have the pull down license plate in the back where you would fuel the car. There was a bolt hole there that I was able to just put the air fitting in. And so what I've still got to do is come to a T, hook these into a T, and then come single, and I'll probably just terminate it right here, like it's going to be running through there into where the license plate is. But that's basically how I kind of did my air, quote unquote air shocks, making them look like air shocks at least. And I've dirtied them up quite a bit, obviously, painted them white. I remember mine were white. I looked online, the research department looked it up for me. And I found them in white or black, whichever, depending on what brand you're using. I remember mine being white, so that's what I went with was white shocks. But anyways, I think that's a kind of a fun detail. I don't know if it'll ever be noticed or anything like that, but we know it's there. Still got to work out the exhaust, which is just going to be basically just straight exhaust to here. None of this is glued together, by the way. The motor is glued in. I went ahead and glued the motor in, but as far as the body, the interior tub, and the chassis, they're not glued together. I just have them kind of placed in here so far. And with that said, of course, the rear spoiler is not glued in either. But the reason I mentioned that is there's a lot of things, the way this, in fact, let me take it apart. So, well, actually, let's look under the hood first, then I'll take it apart so you can see what I'm kind of talking about, why things aren't glued together yet. So like one thing I was working on, well, one, I added some more decals to the fender well. You can't just have one, you would have multiples, and then kind of dirtied all that up. But I also added in our positive battery cable, which is kind of, I ran it this way, one, because again, the research department showed me that a lot of that's how that power, the main power from the battery kind of ran was up the fender well. I would have thought it would have gone straight down and back the frame, but I guess not. You just keep it up above. And then and it's probably how I would have done it. So I've ran the main power coming out of the battery. It kind of loops and then comes back this way, and it's going to go down, and it's going to obviously go down to the starter down here. But the problem is, the motor and the fender well are two different. They're connected. They're two different tubs. Do we call them tubs? I guess that's what we'll call them. And then same thing. I haven't put them in yet, but we've got heater hoses that are going to be going in from the motor back here to the heater box or the AC box or whatever. I believe one, from what I can tell, one runs from right up here at the water pump. Kind of, it'll go over the AC bracket and then back there, and then one comes out from the back side of the intake, and it's going to run this way. But the problem is, let me pull this apart so you can see that it's two separate, chassis, I guess we'll call it. Now I've got this particular chassis I've actually got taped in right now just to hold it in place back here, because that's where our alignment tabs are. But that, and of course, that comes loose from the body. So that's going to be a separate part too. But so I have to leave, like, for example, this power cable just kind of hanging loose there until these two get married together. But I can't marry, obviously we're not going to put all this together until we finish the finish on the body. So until we've finished painting the body, to actually glue this in, then glue that in. You know what I'm saying? I got to leave a lot of stuff loose, and that's going to include things like the heater. Let me see if I can set this down without goofing up. Actually, that's why I've been using these paint cans to hold it up off the ground so it doesn't knock my wires loose and whatnot, or my hoses and wires loose. But that's why I have to wait. So what I'm going to do is actually, what I'll have to do is go ahead and glue in, like, say, for example, this heater hose, kind of route it back the direction it needs to go, like I've done with the battery cable. Same one with this one, but then leave it loose until the very end when we put all this together, and then we can make the connections on the ending point. But it's meaning I'm having to really kind of think about the processes I'm doing. Now, things like fuel line, which I need to run fuel line back from the fuel pump back to the fuel tank, along with a return line and whatnot. Well, that I can do all in one section. So that I can go ahead and take care of, because it's all right here. But even things like the coil wire, you can see my coil is over here. My distributor's over here. So I have to kind of wait to be able to put those together. Just a little something different with this, because I'm used to models having the fender wells here on the chassis tub, and then you can just do it all right here in the chassis. You put the body on, you're good to go. So it's just a little more thought process I'm having to have, or order of operations, I like to call it, that I'm having to think about. But anyways, yeah, so that's kind of got what's going on there. And then, of course, to be able to marry this all together, to put it all together, we've got to get the finish done on the body. And I think I've been going all different directions what I want to do with the body. So the main idea was, this is painted blue. It's a blue car, like a Cutlass color. But I want to put the 442 decals on it. So like me, when I'm in my early 20s, I had this car. I went and bought the decal kit for the 442 to give it that look, right? But put it on a non-442 color, obviously not knowing or caring or whatever. But I don't want the paint to be perfect either. So I wanted to make it look like I painted the car in the garage, put the decals on, all that. But I didn't also want it to be covered in rust pits and all that, because I would fix that stuff, right? And when I was in my early 20s, I was able to fix. That's what I did. I did a lot of body work. So I didn't want, but I did want it to look. Wanted to have character. Let's put it that way, the paint. So what I think I'm going to do, I thought about doing, is just from handling this, it's starting to really kind of take some of the sheen out of the roof and whatnot. And it got me thinking, what I think I'm going to do is give a nice sanding. I'm going to leave the paint just like this. Try to, as long as I don't sand through it. If I sand through it, I'll have to add a coat. But I'm going to leave it just like this, which is a little dark light, not the greatest paint job, because my thought is, all this high stuff, I'm going to sand, wet sand, fine wet sand. Just take the sheen out of it, like over the fenders, like here, top of the fenders, top of the quarters, deck lid, all that. And then I'm going to clear it. But what I'm going to do, and I don't know if you guys ever seen like the salt method or one of those methods. What the idea is to do is pull some of that clear off to make it look like it's been flaking off. So it's been multiple things have happened. Probably used the wrong clear, so it didn't adhere well. Used cheap clear, so the sun is starting to destroy it, and now it's coming off. It's peeling off. So that's the direction I want to go, I think. So no body damage, no rust and that kind of thing. Because you got to think too, when I'm 22, that's 1998 or whatever year it is. This car isn't as old as it would be today. Now, probably would have had rust, but we'll just say that we fixed it or whatever. And then, but the paint that I put on is not great. And I think that'll give it some character of having that, we've all seen it, that weathered, flaking clear coat. And so I think that's what I'm going to try to do, again, on all the high spots or top spots like the roof, deck lid, tops of fenders, tops of quarters, that kind of thing. Let me know what you think. I think that's the direction I'm going to do that. I'll start on it today, actually doing that, because it's not there's no reason why I can't. There's nothing that I'm waiting on for that. There are a few parts that I'm waiting on for under the hood. Like I want to get the 90-degree boots for the plug wires, because I don't know what I'm going to be doing with the air cleaner yet. And I want to make sure and get those out of the way. I don't want them sticking up real tall. So there are a few things I need to get for that, but we can't go ahead and start working on the paint on the body, which is always exciting. That's the idea I have, the direction I think I'm going to go with it. Let me know if that sounds good to you guys. Like if that's something you would do, or if you have a different idea, let me know down in the comment section. We don't have a comment today for in the comments, so definitely leave a comment so maybe we can have it in the comment section tomorrow. But thanks for joining me. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the hype button. Do all those things you do on YouTube. I got to get back to work. I'll see you tomorrow.